So welcome. I'm glad you can join me today on Rash Thoughts. My name is Dean Rash, and these are my thoughts. I'd like to share these with you every week. I got a question for you. What do you think of this intro music? So here's the deal, right? I'm looking to find some intro music that I can put in place that I think is going to help me kick off this show in the right way. Now, once I decide on this music, which I haven't decided on yet, but I'm kind of liking the funk and groove type of look to it. Once I do find the type of music that I'm looking for, then I'm thinking I maybe need to find a person to actually do a voiceover for it. You know, this is all kind of pretty exciting stuff for me. I've never really done a podcast before until last week, my first one, and I'm going to keep on rolling with it. You know, a while back, I heard a concept. It was another podcaster, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but one of the things he said is, you know, he talked about the power of imperfection. Okay, so his theory was that if you wait forever to get it perfect, you never really take the steps forward to kind of like do something and make something happen. So I thought about that a little bit as I was putting this podcast together, and I thought, you know what? No better time than the present. You know, it's going to start out ugly. It's probably going to maybe be a little boring at times, a little discombobulated, a little disorganized. But you know what? I'm doing it. So that's my idea here. Is you just got to move forward and do something. You know, if we think about Nike, right? Their logo. Let's steal a little bit of Nike logo here. They're not paying me for any advertising yet, but you never know. But their logo, just do it, right? Just do it. Just get out there and do it. If you got something that you've been wanting to do, go out there and do it. It's not going to be perfect right out of the gate, but you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to get better and better every time you do it, right? It's all about practice. So this podcast is far from perfect, and that's okay. I'm actually kind of excited about that. It's a little bit outside of my character a little bit, but that's okay. Typically, it is not edited. I do the whole podcast in one take, and I listen to it. And if it's good enough to go on the podcast is good enough, I learn something from it, and I do better as I go along. The first one didn't have any intro music, but you know I like to have some intro music in it. I think there's something cool about that, right? I like that whole funk and groove type of thing that's out there to kind of set the mood to get people excited about listening and being a part of something. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the music. But you know, I know this isn't perfect, and that's been a struggle for me. So I was afraid that maybe if this wasn't the right thing at the right time and doing it the right way, that I'd get all kinds of comments and thoughts and opinions about it that might set me back a little bit. But then I thought, you know, what the heck? Go for it. You know, doesn't hurt. So here's some stats for you, right? It's kind of cool. My first podcast went out. Huge success because it went out. That was a big part of it. I actually had 14 people download it in 4 different countries around the world. That I thought was pretty cool. All right. I had a download in Japan, Germany, France, and then 11 downloads in the U.S. And in the U.S., it went from D.C. to Seattle to Southern California down to Florida. So that was kind of neat. I'm sure some of those people are people I know. I'm guessing my brother might have been one up in the Seattle area. But it was kind of a cool thing to do. And I like the fact that it went out, and I like the fact that I did something. So anyway, if you have an opinion on that music intro that I did, that I found, shoot me an email. Let me know if you liked it or not. I got 2 other ones I'm going to come out with over the next couple of weeks and just kind of see which one sits better or sounds better. But feel free to send me an email. You can email me at dean@deanrash.com. Let me know what it sounded like to you, if you liked it, and we'll kind of go from there. So, hey, I got a cool thing going on tomorrow. I'm actually going to be speaking for a group of wedding planners from various different industries like makeup, music, cake making, travel agents, things like that. And it's kind of a little bit of a cool idea at first. And at first I thought I was doing it for a whole group of ladies selling Mary Kay. And I thought, okay, I'm a little out of my element here, with the Mary Kay thing. But I thought, you know what, there's some connection here. And one of the things I thought about was, why is it that I would want to help a group of people like Mary Kay? What is it that I can offer them that might help them in their businesses? And then it kind of dawned on me sitting in church today, and I'm not going to go into a lot of faith stuff this early on in my podcast, but one of the things that we talked about today was brokenness, right? Everybody's got a past, got a life, got some broken pieces in their lives, some brokenness about their lives to one degree or another. And, there is a faith element that goes into how to handle that and how people deal with that. And I'll definitely get into that at a later time as I talk a little bit more about myself and my journey and where I've been and where I'm going. But what it came down to me for this group tomorrow that I want to share with them is talking about the human spirit and the change that occurs when we find ourselves broken or we find ourselves, going through some significant challenges in our life. And it's not necessarily being broken, but it's a chance for us to listen to ourselves, to listen to the world around us. Maybe for some, it's listening to nature. Maybe some, it's listening to God, whatever it might be. But taking time for some introspection and to listen to what is being spoken with inside of ourselves and kind of help us figure out where we're going, right? So we each kind of have that story in us that defines who we are. We all have pieces and parts of our lives that make up who we are, why we do the things we do, and where we're going with our lives. And so what I wanted to share tomorrow, and I plan on sharing tomorrow with them, is helping them understand, get connected with why you do what you do, right? Simon Sinek, if you've ever heard of Simon Sinek, he does a great TED Talk on, start with your why and finding out why you do what you do, right? So what is it important to you? What drives you? What gives you purpose? What gives you some kind of passion in your life to define why you want to do what you do, right? So you might sell makeup, okay? And we'll start with that one. You might sell makeup, but why do you sell makeup? Is it so you can make a living? Is it so you can have more freedom? Is it so you can? And those are all great things to be doing, but that's really not why you do it. If you think about why you do it and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Why do you, if you're a person selling Mary Kay, why do you sell makeup to a woman who's battling cancer? You sell makeup to a woman who's battling cancer because you want her to feel beautiful about herself in the trying times that she's going through. That's one of those things that I've talked to a friend of mine who sells Mary Kay, and that's one of the things that she loves to do the most. She actually does a lot of work with cancer patients and doing makeovers for them to help them feel beautiful again. That's why she sells makeup. It's not so she can make money. It's not so that she can go on trips. It's not so that she can network and things like that. It's so she can help women, whether it be a cancer patient or just a stay-at-home mom or a business professional, whatever it is. She does it because she wants women to see themselves beautiful as the world sees them already. She wants to help them have stronger belief in themselves, to have greater self-confidence, to understand that they are a beautiful woman no matter what their struggle is. And I think that's an incredible way to look at why you do the things that you do. It's tough when we don't understand the connection for why we do the things that we do. It makes it a struggle for us, right? So I'm in the midst of a little bit of a struggle right now in a business that I'm working with. And I know why I would do the things that I would do, but I haven't been able to connect with the owner of the company in that same way. And that has made it really difficult for me because it goes contrary to who I am and what I believe in. And so the struggle has been how to figure out, from my side of it, how do I keep myself true to myself at the same time still working to help this company, because there are a number of people inside this company that deserve to be treated well. And sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to walk away. And I think that's the point that I'm at right now with this project that I'm working on with this company, is this owner is struggling with why does he do what he does, and it has more to do with himself and less to do with his employees. And so it's a little bit of a difficult decision, but we'll be moving on from there at some point. But what was important for me is to sit back and understand, why I do the things that I do. Why do I want to be the type of person that I am, and what type of people do I want to surround myself with? I've struggled quite a bit in my life with brokenness, as we talked about just a little bit ago. And I didn't want to be in a situation where I found myself swallowed up by the environment around me that I couldn't control anymore. And so that's where you have to make a decision, and you have to listen to your internal self and believe in who you are at the core of who you are and what you believe in, and make those changes. And so it's a struggle. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm digging deep on this one. My wife we had a great conversation the other night heading down to a restaurant just south of us, and in that conversation, she got into me a little bit. I mean, she jumped all over me. She was, you're a better person than what you're letting yourself, be right now. Believe in yourself. You have a lot of gifts, a lot of talents to offer other people, and you need to see your value and your worth. And, it was kind of hard to hear that. And I believe all those things, and I understand all those things, and I tell people the same thing sometimes. And sometimes it's hard to look back at yourself and have the same perspective. I do. I talk to a number of friends and other business owners, and I talk to them the same way. Believe in yourself, believe in your product, understand why you do what you do. Go out there and make it happen. And then I look at myself sometimes and go, man, you're doing the same thing you're trying to coach other people not to do. So it's a tough thing. You gotta look back at yourself, and you gotta connect. Why is it you do the things that you do? What drives you? What gives you passion? What gives you purpose? What gives you hope? Those are the things you have to reach out for and go after. So when I think about this podcast and what I'm doing with it, the reason why I started it is because I got tired of other people, what I call hustling me. All right. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times when you're speaking, and that's my passion is getting in front of audiences and inspiring and motivating and coaching and teaching. And in the process of doing that, you put yourself out there, you advertise, you network, you put your Facebook page up, you have your website, all those types of things are out there. And inevitably somebody finds you and they make you a pitch. I like what I saw. Hey, I saw some demos on your speeches. You did a great job. Let's talk, So I've learned that sometimes there's red flags there, and I hate to be negative about it, but I get negative about it sometimes because of the experiences I've had. And one of the most recent ones I had, I got a call from a online radio station. Wanted to do an interview. They saw my stuff. They wanted to do an interview. No strings attached. And I thought, okay, great. I checked them out. Called a friend of mine, Brad, and I said, Brad, you ever heard of these people? This is what they're offering. What do you think? And Brad does a lot of this stuff too. And he said, you know what? He said, maybe they just want content. Maybe they're just looking for some content for their show to help keep their show fresh and alive and things like that. I thought, okay, cool, I can do that. So I did the interview. It was supposed to be a 7-8 minute interview. I did the interview, and I thought it went well. Had good energy, like the host. Everything was great. Some good content. And at the end of the interview, she thanked me and hung up. I thought, cool, is what it is. Not only 5 minutes later, I get a telephone call from the same area of the country. And it's a gentleman who identifies himself as a marketing manager. And he told me how great the show was and loved it. They want to do more shows with me. They'd like to schedule me to do 5 30-minute shows with so-and-so as a guest host. And then we would go through some topics, and they would go ahead and market those out for me. Now, here's the catch. It's $1,500 to do the shows. And I thought, okay, there's the hook, right? There's the hustle. So you come at me, hey, you're great. I like what you do, all that kind of stuff. And the next thing you know, boom, there's the hustle. They want to take your money, not necessarily help me for me, but they want to help me in a way that helps them too. And I get that. I mean, we're all in business. We all understand the purpose of it. But when we're thinking about why we do what we want to do and what's important to us, it's important that we get our message out there in the right way. And what that means is surrounding yourself with people that are going to help you for you, not surrounding yourself with people who want to take your money, right? So Brad's a good resource for me. Talk to Brad. He gave me some advice. That's all great. I've got other friends that have helped me, give me some advice, but this place was just wanting to take my money. So when you're out there trying to figure out why you do what you do, trying to find your purpose in life, finding your passion, make sure that you're reaching out to people that you trust, that you believe in, that you know are going to give you the insight and the info that you need to make good decisions. Those are the types of people you want to surround yourself with. You don't want to surround yourself with people who just want to talk to you because you've got some money to give away. So I talk about it, call it the hustle, and understand me. I mean, everybody's got an opportunity to make money, and you got to decide what's right for you and what's not right for you. But it's important to surround yourself with people that you trust and believe in, and make sure you're making good decisions. Now, one of the beauties of this imperfection of the podcast, as we called it earlier, is that my calendar just went off, and I'm sure there's a beep that happened in the background, and I have no idea how to stop that. That's all right. I'll figure it out at some point. But the important thing right now is, getting this podcast out, sharing my thoughts, giving my opinions on some stuff, and kind of seeing where they go. So, well, let me leave you with this, all right? So we all have brokenness, so to speak, as we talked about a little bit earlier. We all have events in our life that define us. Maybe it was an illness, maybe it was a death in the family, maybe it was an accident, maybe it was something positive. Maybe it was, winning a big wheel from a grocery store contest when you were a little kid. Maybe it was something just goofy like that. But everybody has something in their life that kind of defines them, right? Helps define who they are, why they make the decisions that they do. That helps drive who you are and helps you understand why you do the things that you do. Why do some people have such a passion for animals and others might have such a passion for, helping kids? Or some people have a passion for the environment, but some people have a passion for, finding bugs and understanding all the things they can about bugs. I mean, we all have things that drive us, right? So find out what your passion is. What is your why? And I would suggest you go to Simon Sinek's website or to YouTube and look him up and look at that video. Start with your why. I think that's a great thing to look at. It's going to be a great thing that's going to help you make some decisions in the future to understand who you are. Make sure that you understand why you do the things that you do. Understand that everybody's got a story. Our purpose is to help other people. That's the goal of what my podcast, I want everybody to do. And the last thing, right, is don't let people hustle you. Find the people, surround yourself with good people that are going to be honest with you, that are going to help you for you, and are going to help you grow. So with that, hope you guys have a great week. I'll put another podcast together for next week. And with that, you guys have a great day, a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Make this world rock, all right? Have a good one.